Hey guys, what's going on? Rob with 3STRONG. Tonight I want to talk about the most successful diet plan ever. And it's been studied by research, it's been backed up, there's been plenty of books written about this subject, but it seems to be a hard thing to grasp because people take it to the extremes. But the most successful diet plans out there aren't necessarily low-calorie diets, even though limiting your calories is a factor. It's not the the wheat. It's not the types of proteins you eat. The most successful diet is a low carbohydrate diet. And what are carbohydrates? Carbohydrates essentially anything that contains sugar or starches, anything that is broken down into glucose or sugar in our body. That's our grains, that's our rice, that's our pastas, that's our breads, that's our flours. That's fruit has some carbohydrates in there too. Vegetables have some carbohydrates. And I'm not saying that you should not eat any of these foods, but it makes sense that since our body, if we consume an excess amount of carbohydrates, since it's such a rich energy source, our body doesn't get rid of it. But if we don't use those sugars, which are burned off through strenuous exercise, they get stored as fat. I've explained this in some of my other videos. So it's safe to say that if we limit the amount of carbohydrates that we put into our system, that there's less carbohydrates to be put into fat. This is very useful if you're not doing any exercise program. However, if you're doing a high intensity exercise program, then that will afford you the opportunity to have a little bit more carbohydrates. But if you watched my video on body types, it absolutely depends on what body type you have. Notice how many options there are here? It's crazy. But if you have a diet that is lower in carbohydrates, minimizing all that junk, that sugar, the sodas, the juices, the rice, the breads, the pastas, all that stuff, and you ramp up the amount of protein you have, either through meats or a mixture of vegetables, then you should therefore be able to reduce your body fat. Unfortunately, this is something that people have a hard time grasping because in places such as this, like in elementary school, what do kids eat? Well, they eat kid foods, right? All the candies and the cookies and the crackers and juices and stuff that kids can have, right? Habits that are formed when we're young. But guess what happens? We continue to eat like children well into adulthood. So now we're eating cookies and crackers and pastas and all this stuff. And the debate isn't whether we should have wheat or white, and wheat is better than all this, or gluten and not gluten, is reduce the amount of sugar you consume in your diet, and therefore you will have a healthier diet. Okay? So it's now time to stop eating like a child and start eating like an adult and have some whole foods, high in protein, low in sugars, high in vitamins and minerals and fiber. And also, get your butt out there and sweat. But think about where it all starts and where it all ends, right in your gut, okay? Lower those sugars, guys, and you're going to be successful. See ya.